sprinters, I'm going to tell you something that changed my entire career. It's actually pretty easy to beat 99% of all sprinters because most athletes train hard but focus wrong. I used to be the same. I trained like a savage every single day. Weight room, hills, pool, yoga, extra sessions, all of it. But here's what nobody told me. Working harder doesn't always guarantee improvement. And in fact, working harder on the wrong things almost pushes you further away from the goal. I want you to picture sprint development like a tree. Every off-season rep is feeding the roots. And the height of the tree over time, that's your top end speed. That's your PR. But most athletes, they train like this. One branch is max velocity, the other branch is hypertrophy. One branch is mobility, and one branch is all starts and accelerations. So the tree really just grows in all random directions. But the worst part about it is that the tree barely grows up. Because when you spread your energy across every single different path, you ultimately starve the one root system that actually builds up the tree, that actually drives the results you need. So if you want to grow, you have to prune. Cut the distractions, cut the fluff, and cut off the offshoots. So all your energy flows through the trunk and the constraints are removed. So let me say this a different way. You don't get faster by stacking 10 different average training plans on top of each other. You actually get faster by removing the one limiting factor that's actually holding you back as an athlete. So let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was a guy that was chasing every single branch, right? I was training like an animal, 6 days a week, and sometimes multiple times in those 6 days a week. I had recovery boots, I had cold plunges, I had the new lifting techniques, the best new training plan, all of those random sprint drills on YouTube. And ultimately, I was still stuck. So then one day I asked myself, I'm chasing all of these different outcomes, but what's the one limiting factor that's truly holding me back as an athlete? And the answer was in my first 5 steps of a race. So I built my entire off-season training plan around that. Resistance jumps, heavy trap bar, horizontal bounding, posture drills. Even my recovery was tailored around ankle stiffness. And the results? 12 weeks later, I opened up my season with a PR. And it's not because I trained harder. It was because I had the right priority. And here's the wild thing. Once I made that breakthrough, the results didn't stop. They kept coming. The next year, the focus became the transition phase. And the year after that, it became max velocity. But the root of it all started with focusing on the biggest limiting factor that I was suffering at that time. So really the reason why most athletes never break through, it isn't because of effort, it's the illusion of progress. You're training, you're sweating, you're really checking all the boxes, but you're ultimately training wrong. That's because you're stuck with B+ problems. Putting out little fires feel productive, but it doesn't ultimately yield outsized returns. You're fixing your warm-ups, you're redoing lifts, you're testing every random recovery protocol. And all the while, the A+ problem is your acceleration. And that is what's really being ignored. So you don't need more exercises, you don't need more sprint drills. You really just need to make one decision. And that's a decision to find your lowest hanging fruit, go all in on that, and turn that weakness into a strength. And I get it, the A+ problems are the hardest to solve. So we ultimately overlook them. It's messy, it's frustrating, and you might not even know where to start. But solving that one problem will unlock the growth that you need to truly reach your potential. So here's how I coach it inside of Sprint University. Step 1, we find your biggest limiter. Is it acceleration? Is it max velocity? Is it your elastic strength? Is it posture? We use film, we test KPIs. Those are key performance indicators. And we continue to dig deep until we find the root cause. Step 2, we kill everything else that's not related to the root cause. That means we have to let some fires burn while we focus on this main constraint. But that's okay. Step 3, we will rebuild your sprint program around that constraint that you have as an athlete. Sprints, lifts, mobility, recovery, all mapped out towards that one target constraint. Step 4, we build fast feedback loops. So that's frequent check-ins, that's video analysis. Those are clear metrics which ultimately lead to small wins that stack up to the big win. And step 5, once it's solved, we find the next big domino. And that's how you stack PRs. That's how you never plateau as an athlete. And that's really the difference between busy athletes and effective athletes. Because anybody can be busy, but very few people are effective in their training. Most athletes build half bridges. They start a new program, but stop halfway. They jump from new system to the next system, but ultimately never cross the river. But if you lock in on the right path and finish it, you create momentum. And momentum is what builds real growth. Because focus builds force, and force builds speed. And speed is what builds your confidence. And confidence, that's the real edge when it comes to sprinting. You don't need a bigger playbook. You really just need a better target. So let me show you what that looks like in real life. I had an athlete, we'll call him Joshua. He came in running around 11.2 and jumping about 20 feet 1 inches in long jump. He was strong, fast, but he's really ultimately a stiff athlete. So we identified his limiting factors. We zoomed in on his ground contact time and his transition phase. And for 6 weeks, that was the mission. Sprint mechanics over 30 meters, flying sprints, elastic plyos, and video breakdowns. And recovery designed around his stiffness problem. And by the springtime, he was long jumping 22.8 and running sub 11 consistently, all from focusing on that one domino and knocking it down with force and confidence. So if you're tired of being the hardest worker in the room, but have nothing to show for it, it's time to stop doing more and start doing what truly matters. And at Sprint University, we help identify those limiting factors as an athlete. Then build a custom plan around it. Sprints, lifting, and recovery all tied around your goal and progressed over time. 1, you'll stop guessing, and 2, you will start progressing. And finally, you will protect the dream. So if you're a serious athlete looking to get faster, you can click the link in the bio of this video where you can join our free sprint community called Sprint University. I'll see you guys in the next video.